What if I told you that the true battlefield of your entire life isn't your circumstances, your past, or even your future, but your mind? Yes, your mind. The hidden temple where destinies are either built or buried. Psalm 1 doesn't speak merely of religion. It whispers the code of mental transformation. Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked. This is not just about morality. It's about alignment. Alignment with divine intelligence. Alignment with what Napoleon Hill called definiteness of purpose. When your thoughts align with purpose, your entire energetic structure begins to vibrate differently. The blessed mind isn't lucky. It's deliberate. It's cultivated. It is pruned daily of weeds and wandering thoughts. Because prosperity isn't a prize, it's the echo of mental order. But let's be honest, how many times have you felt like your life is stuck in a loop? Like you're repeating the same year over and over again with different calendars? You wake up, try, fall, try again, but it feels like you're moving in circles. Psalm 1 offers a metaphysical clue. The blessed person is like a tree planted by streams of water. Not just any tree, not a bush. A tree, rooted, stable, unshakable. And that water, that's not just hydration. It's divine current. It's what Hill referred to as the invisible counsel, that stream of wisdom we can all access when we quiet the noise. Have you ever wondered if your current chaos is simply the symptom of mental drought? Now imagine this. You start to feed your mind the right nutrients. Not junk input, not digital noise, but real sacred patterns of thought. Prosperity begins not with money, but with thought hygiene. Just like Hill taught, thoughts become things. Not because it's magic, but because thoughts shape the electromagnetic field that either attracts or repels opportunities. When you meditate on divine wisdom day and night, as Psalm 1 says, you're not being religious, you're tuning your frequency. And when that frequency matches abundance, life starts responding like a perfectly tuned orchestra. But what's clogging your signal right now? You might say, but I've tried thinking positively, and it didn't work. That's like planting a seed and giving up after one day because there's no fruit. Listen closely. The mind is not a microwave, it's a greenhouse, and every thought you plant is either a weed or a wonder. Napoleon Hill's entire philosophy of success is a mirror of Psalm 1. He teaches that only when you commit to a definiteness of purpose and nurture it with consistent thought, can you access the vibrational pathways that produce results. What are you currently growing in your inner garden? There's a silent war happening inside you, and it's not between good and evil. It's between focus and fragmentation. The blessed mind prospers because it's whole, integrated, not scattered across social media, worries, and fears. Hill said it this way: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But belief is not a thought, it's a state, a vibrational posture. Most people think they believe, but inside they're filled with contradiction. That's why nothing flows. Can you begin to notice the micro moments where your mind betrays your dreams? Think of your mind as a field. Psalm 1 says the person who meditates on divine wisdom is like a tree that yields fruit in season. That means prosperity is not instant. It's cyclical. It's about preparation. You don't get grapes in winter. You get them after a long, invisible process. The same applies to success. Hill emphasized faith not as a feeling, but as an inner attitude cultivated through repetition. You don't believe in your dream once, you believe in it daily, especially when there's no evidence. Can you trust the seed before the sprout? Here's where it gets deeper. The mind that prospers is not one that avoids challenges. It's one that transmutes them. Napoleon Hill coined the term transmutation as the act of converting energy from one form to another. Psalm 1 says the blessed person does not stand in the path of sinners. This isn't moral policing. It's about energetic association. Who you listen to, walk with, think like, those voices become your inner algorithms. What if your current stagnation is just the result of outdated thought loops playing on repeat? Let's do a micro practice right now. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Now imagine your mind as a river. What thoughts are polluting it? What debris keeps floating back no matter how many times you try to clear it? Can you see them? Name them. Now, visualize placing a gate at the entrance of that river. From this moment on, nothing enters unless it nourishes. This is the practice of what Hill called autosuggestion, consciously choosing what thoughts you allow to shape your inner state. Are you ready to become the guardian of your own river? There's a hidden teaching in Psalm 1 that most never see. It says, "Whatever they do prospers." But it says this only after describing their mental environment. The mind comes first. Action is second. Hill taught the same. Don't act to be successful. Be successful in mind first, then act. That's why most productivity hacks fail. They're surface-level tactics on a disordered foundation. You don't need more motivation. You need mental alignment. Have you been skipping the foundation and blaming the building? Think about the contrast Psalm 1 gives. The wicked are like chaff, the wind blows away. Chaff is weightless, rootless. That's how most people live, led by impulse, not intention. That's why they never prosper. They have no inner mass. Hill's definiteness of purpose is what gives you energetic gravity. When you have that, you're not blown away by trends, by doubts, by temporary failures. You move with quiet force. Do you want to be the tree or the chaff? Napoleon Hill wasn't just writing about money. He was writing about energetic structure. Prosperity, he said, begins with clarity, is powered by faith, and is realized through persistent action. Psalm 1 is not about rules, it's about resonance. You align with divine intelligence and life responds. That's not superstition. That's synchronization. Have you noticed that the more you doubt, the more chaos you attract? And the more centered you are, the more things begin to open? That's not coincidence. That's coherence. Now breathe, deeply, and ask yourself, what thoughts today are out of alignment with your desired future? Not just negative ones, but misaligned ones. Ones that distract, fragment, distort. Begin to gently but firmly replace them. That's the power Hill spoke of. Controlled thought. Psalm 1 and Think and Grow Rich are two sides of the same scroll. One written in sacred metaphor, the other in practical language. Both whispering the same truth. Your outer world mirrors your inner frequencies. There's one last reflection to hold. Prosperity is not an outcome, it's an identity. You don't chase it, you become it. Napoleon Hill said that success comes to those who are success conscious. Psalm 1 says the blessed mind meditates day and night. Both point to the same principle. Become the embodiment of what you seek and it will be magnetized to you. So the question is not, will I prosper? The question is, am I ready to become the kind of mind that prosperity recognizes? And now, I want to leave you in silence for just a moment. Not to end, but to open. What would change in your life if you truly believed that everything you needed was already encoded in your mind, just waiting to be activated? And if you've come this far, it's because something ancient inside you has started to remember. Not a memory of the mind, but of the soul. A knowing that your thoughts are sacred, that the patterns running in your head aren't random. They're scripts, invisible scripts. And now you've seen behind the curtain. You are not lost. You are not broken. You were simply disconnected from the stream. Psalm 1 and Napoleon Hill don't promise magic. They offer mastery. And mastery doesn't happen in noise. It begins in silence. In the still, burning decision to live on purpose. To think with intention. To align with something higher than survival. So ask yourself, what thoughts have I tolerated that no longer serve me? What belief could I begin to water daily until it becomes unshakable? And most importantly, what kind of future could unfold if I choose to become the tree, not the chaff? If this moved something inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe. Stay with us. You didn't find this by accident. There's a reason you're still here. Your journey didn't just begin. It was reawakened.